What if I told you that the unluckiest team in cricket history is one of the greatest teams the sport has ever seen? A team that has reached 10 World Cup semi-finals, a team that has played in 3 World Cup finals, a team that was once seconds away from lifting an ODI World Cup. And yet, despite everything, they've never won one. Every time they fight, every time they get back up, and every time, cricket finds a new way to break their hearts. To understand this, we have to go way back. Because this isn't just about 1 or 2 unlucky matches. This is about decades of heartbreak. This is about a team that has done everything right, beaten the best, reached the biggest stages, and played cricket the way it was meant to be played, only to watch fate rip it all away. And here's the crazy part. This didn't start in 2019. It didn't even start in 1992. It started in the very first Cricket World Cup. In 1975, the cricketing world witnessed something new, the first World Cup. And New Zealand? They were among the top teams from the start. They powered through the group stages and reached the semi-finals. But standing in their way was a West Indies team that was built different. New Zealand fought hard, but in the end, Clive Lloyd's men were simply too strong. The Black Caps were knocked out. And just like that, their first attempt at World Cup glory ended in heartbreak. But this was just the beginning. 4 years later, the story repeated itself. The 1979 World Cup saw New Zealand once again reach the semi-finals, and this time they had a real shot. Their opponent was England, and the game went down to the wire. Chasing 222, they looked set to create history, but then disaster struck. Wickets tumbled, the chase collapsed, and New Zealand fell short by just 9 runs. 2 World Cups, 2 semi-final exits. But little did they know, this was just the beginning, because what happened next was even worse. The 1992 World Cup had them as co-hosts, and under the captaincy of Martin Crowe, they weren't just winning games, they were destroying teams. Australia, India, West Indies, all beaten. They topped the group stages with ease. And with Martin Crowe in the form of his life, they looked unstoppable. Then came the semi-final against Pakistan. New Zealand batted first, and Crowe led from the front, scoring a majestic 91. They posted 262, an excellent total for that era. For most of the second innings, they were in control. Pakistan struggled. At 140 for 4, New Zealand was on the brink of reaching their first ever World Cup final. And then, Inzamam ul Haq walked in. What followed was one of the greatest counterattacks in World Cup history. Inzamam, just 22 years old at the time, smashed 60 runs off 37 balls, reverse sweeps, lofted shots, sheer carnage. New Zealand's dream was slipping away. And in the final over, Pakistan completed the chase. Another World Cup, another heartbreak, and this one hurt the most. But here's the cruelest part. This wouldn't be the last time they were knocked out by Pakistan in a semi-final, because in 1999, history repeated itself. 7 years had passed, but the pain of 1992 still lingered. New Zealand once again put together a strong campaign, making it to the semi-finals of the 1999 World Cup. And once again, Pakistan was waiting for them. This time, they set a competitive total of 241. But just like in 1992, a Pakistani batter took the game away from them. Saeed Anwar, one of the best openers of his time, played a flawless century. New Zealand was knocked out. Again. In the semi-finals. Again. By Pakistan. Again. And if you think that was the end of their semi-final heartbreaks, you'd be wrong. Because in 2007, it happened again. This time, their opponent was the Sri Lankan team. The 2007 World Cup saw New Zealand dominate the early stages, but when they reached the semi-finals, they ran into a brick wall. Sri Lanka batted first, and Mahela Jayawardene played one of his greatest innings, 115 off 109 balls. New Zealand had no answer. Their chase fell apart, and they lost by 81 runs. 4 years later, in 2011, they reached the semi-finals again, and standing in their way, Sri Lanka again. This time, it was even worse. New Zealand batted first and were bowled out for 217. It wasn't a difficult target for Sri Lanka at their home ground. Kiwis did their best to defend the total, and the bowlers managed to take out 5 batters. But Dilshan played a masterful innings of 73 runs, assisted by the captain, Kumar Sangakkara, who scored 54. The target was chased easily in the 48th over, and Sri Lanka won by 5 wickets. 2 back-to-back semi-finals, 2 defeats, both against Sri Lanka. At this point, New Zealand had reached 6 semi-finals in ODI World Cups and lost every single one. But then came 2015, and finally, after decades of pain, they made it to a final. The 2015 World Cup was different. This time, New Zealand wasn't just a good team. They were the best team. Under Brendan McCullum, they played a brand of cricket that the world had never seen before. Fearless, aggressive, relentless. They powered through the tournament and reached the final. This was their moment, their first ever World Cup final. But standing in their way, Australia. The match started, and McCullum, who had been their driving force all tournament, walked out to bat. The entire nation held its breath. First ball, Mitchell Starc swings it in. McCullum survives. Second ball, another absolute peach. McCullum is beaten again. Third ball.
Bowled him! Got him third ball!
Bowled, gone. Silence. McCullum was out for a duck. And after that, New Zealand collapsed. Australia dominated. The dream was over. It was another final, another heartbreak. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could prepare them for what happened in 2019. Because in 2019, they didn't just lose a final. They lost the most controversial final in the history of cricket, as it all came down to one freak moment. 2019 was supposed to be different. New Zealand had just come off a spectacular World Cup campaign, one where they had defended low totals, beaten tournament favourites, and proven once again that they were never to be underestimated. They made it to the final, and standing across from them was England, the team that had reinvented white ball cricket. The stakes couldn't have been higher. Two teams, both desperate for their first ever World Cup trophy. New Zealand batted first and posted 241 for 8. It wasn't a massive total, but it was competitive, and on a slow Lord's pitch, it was defendable. Then came the second innings. England, with one of the strongest batting lineups in history, started shaky. Wickets fell, pressure built, New Zealand was in control, and then, in the final overs, the match exploded into absolute chaos. Ben Stokes, England's hero, was single-handedly keeping them in the game, but just when it looked like New Zealand was about to pull off one of the greatest wins in cricket history, the unthinkable happened. Stokes smashed a shot towards the boundary. Martin Guptill fired a rocket throw to the keeper. Stokes, diving to complete the second run, stuck his bat out and the ball deflected off it. The ball raced away to the boundary. 4 overthrows, 6 runs. It was a complete freak accident, a moment of pure bad luck. The equation changed instantly. From England needing 9 off 3, they now needed just 3 off 2. New Zealand had done everything right, and yet the fate had once again turned their backs on them. The match ended in a tie.
They're going to push. Are we in for a super over? They've got to go quick. They've got to go quick. Out. I'm sure he's out. We're going to a super over.
For the first time in World Cup history, the final went to a super over. England batted first and posted 15 runs in an over with Stokes and Buttler at the crease. New Zealand came out to chase. Jimmy Neesham and Martin Guptill fought back. Neesham struck a huge 6 off Jofra Archer and suddenly the game was on. Now the final ball, just 2 runs remaining. Guptill pushed it to deep mid-wicket and ran. Jason Roy fired in a perfect throw. Guptill ran for a second run like his life depended on it. Buttler collected the throw cleanly and broke the stumps. Guptill was unable to complete the winning run. The game had tied again. Another tie. Even after 102 overs of cricket, nothing separated the two teams. New Zealand hadn't lost, and yet somehow they weren't champions. Because then came the most controversial rule in cricket history. The trophy wasn't decided by wickets lost. It wasn't decided by the super over runs. It was decided by a technicality, the boundary count rule. England had hit more boundaries in the match. That was it. That was the rule that decided cricket's greatest final. New Zealand had fought for 100 overs. They had tied the final, they had tied the super over, and still, they lost. Even England's players looked stunned. The entire world knew it was unfair. The outrage was massive. Within months, the ICC quietly removed the boundary count rule from future tournaments. But it was too late. The damage had been done. New Zealand had once again been robbed. And for the second time in a row, they walked away from a World Cup final with nothing but heartbreak. And yet, in true New Zealand fashion, they didn't complain. No excuses, no blaming the rulebook, no anger, just sportsmanship. Kane Williamson, their captain, stood in front of the cameras, smiled, and accepted it. He had just lost the biggest match of his career in the most unfair way possible, and yet he handled it with more grace than most people would in a club match. This is why the world loves New Zealand cricket, because even when they are crushed by fate, they handle it like true champions. And then came 2023. India, the host nation, had been nothing short of unstoppable throughout the tournament. 10 wins in a row, every opponent crushed, every challenge answered. Rohit Sharma's men looked destined to lift the trophy, but standing in their way, in the semi-final, was the one team that had haunted them before, New Zealand. This was a rematch of the 2019 semi-final, where India had fallen heartbreakingly short. This time, the stakes were even higher. India batted first and delivered a masterclass. Virat Kohli scored a record-breaking 117, becoming the first player to hit 50 ODI centuries, surpassing Sachin Tendulkar. Shreyas Iyer smashed a blazing 105. India posted a mammoth 397 for 4, the highest total ever in a World Cup knockout match. For most teams, the match would have been over. But New Zealand? They didn't back down. Daryl Mitchell played one of the greatest World Cup innings of all time, scoring a heroic 134 off 119 balls. Kane Williamson anchored the chase with poise. For a moment, it looked like New Zealand might pull off the impossible. But India's bowlers rose to the moment. Mohammad Shami delivered a dream spell, taking 7 wickets. Each time New Zealand clawed back, Shami shut the door. In the end, New Zealand fell short. They were bowled out for 327. India had avenged 2019. But once again, for the Black Caps, it was another semi-final exit, another World Cup heartbreak. And here's something we haven't even touched on yet, because New Zealand's heartbreak hasn't just been limited to the ODI, they've been just as unlucky in the T20 World Cups. In 2007, they reached the semi-finals, only to be knocked out by a brilliant Pakistan side. In 2016, they were arguably the best team in the tournament, dominating the group stage, but then ran into England in the semi-finals, where Jason Roy's explosive batting ended their dreams. And in 2021, they finally made it to a T20 World Cup final. This was their chance, one more shot at glory, but once again, it was Australia standing in their way. Once again, they fought bravely, and once again, they fell short. Next year as well, in 2022, semi-final against Pakistan, but the same defeat. 3 T20 World Cup semi-finals, 1 final, no title. It's the same story, the same heartbreak, across formats, across decades, across generations. Though, earlier in 2021, New Zealand had already proven why they were among cricket's elite, as they won the first ever World Test Championship, that too against India, a team that had bested them in countless big moments. They had lifted an ICC trophy before too, 2000 Champions Trophy, that against India as well, a moment of glory that ended their wait for silverware. But there's still something missing, a World Cup, the one title that had slipped through their fingers time and time again. Even with 2 ICC trophies to their name, there is still an undeniable void. For a team that has reached 10 semi-finals and 3 finals in ODI and T20 Cups, the dream of a World Cup remains unfulfilled. 2 ICC trophies, decades of dominance, yet still no World Cup. But maybe, just maybe, that moment will come in 2027. Maybe Kane Williamson will lift the one trophy that has always been out of reach. Maybe New Zealand will finally complete the ultimate redemption arc. Maybe this unlucky team will finally become champions of the world. Because if there's one team in cricket that deserves it more than anyone else, it's New Zealand.